What's going on, troopers? Welcome to the Trooper Transmission. And today we got my man David coming in to talk all things nerdum, fitness, and I like the shirt, discipline equals freedom. You definitely been applying that over the last few months, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going fantastic. I'm happy to be here and just really excited about this whole experience that I've had so far.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. Bring the clock back 3, 4 months ago. What was going on in your world that inspired you to reach out and join this band of troopers?
So a little bit of background to get into this is I work in the law enforcement field, and obviously part of the job is just being physically fit. Um, they hammer it into you how important it is, but they don't necessarily give you the tools to figure out how to go about staying fit on your own time. So I mean, obviously, there's so many different workout plans, diets that are just revolving all over social media with the influencers and everything. And it's just finding what works is was super difficult. And then it's just hitting a point where I can't do this on my own. I definitely need to reach out to somebody who has that experience who can help me guide me to uh, the end result, the goals that I'm trying to achieve with just staying physically fit and just having that confidence walking into whatever scenario with my job, knowing that I'm going to be able to take care of business no matter what it's going to be. So, I mean, I first saw on Instagram, I think I was going through Reels a while ago, Trooper Transmission coming up, and it's like, oh, it's this guy that's wearing a clone trooper helmet on doing workouts. So I was like, all right, that's pretty sweet. Like, start diving into some of the content. It's like, all right, this okay. Seems like this guy knows what he's doing, and I forget where you had it with all your previous experience and all the investing you did with yourself with the certifications and the training you've done. I'm like, okay, there's got to be something here. So let's take that leap and see what it's all about with it having that Star Wars theme to it.
Yeah, and I remember I think a video, a very similar video to what you're talking about, where it's just a little bit of like the background, because I could totally see maybe your concern where you're like, this guy's working out in a helmet. Like, is he fully there? Is he sane? And I mean, obviously, we just big fans of the franchise, but were there any concerns you had as you were kind of either perusing around or once you joined, or were you kind of just like, all right, cool, like let's see what's through door number one?
I mean, honestly, it was just a leap of faith. Um, it took me a while to get to the point where with everything I was seeing with following the Trooper Transmission on Instagram and just the different workout programs that kept being put out and everything, it's like, okay, I feel comfortable that there's knowledge here. There's more than just what some run of the mill quote unquote program that it's a one size fits all that doesn't always work for everybody. But it was just I'm ready and let's take the leap of faith. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm gonna eat my words and just push on after the experience and everything. But I mean, it's that leap of faith is it's been a rock solid with everything.
Awesome. And kudos to you for making that leap of faith. A lot of people that fear holds them back. And whether it's your training, your background, you knew that like, hey, like I'm a little nervous, but the obstacle is the way sometimes. As you got started, you got linked up with Marcos and the community. What were some of the initial first impressions or some of the things that you kind of learned right away? Like, oh, like this is how it works, or this is why it works, or maybe this is why I've been stuck for the last few years.
I mean, I was just blown away with the amount of knowledge between you and Marcos when it comes to fitness and nutrition. Um, because again, you can find some random program online that's some influencer, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and just kind of, um, you don't have that one-on-one where you can sit there and ask the questions to get more information as to what you're confused by, or what you want a better understanding on. And I mean, with all the questions that I've had, I've just been blown away with what I thought I knew, and it's just like, oh, this is why, for example, the nutrition aspect with, um, count your macros and everything, but it's, well, you want to have a majority of your carbs earlier in the day. It's like, okay, and then when you start to get the explanation as to why you want to put a majority of them earlier in the day and everything, it's like, wow, that makes sense. And when you have that person there where you can ask those questions and get that knowledge, it really helps to get the gears moving, and everything just clicks.
Yeah. And speaking of clicking too, I've been super impressed from just like a visual standpoint, the changes you've seen. What have been some of the things that you've noticed, either in form of performance improvements, how you feel energy wise? Like, what are some of the things that stand out for you?
Performance. I mean, when I was doing a one max rep of squats, I hit a PR that I've never seen before. I mean, I've never been able to throw up over 300 pounds, not even close to that for squatting. I mean, energy levels are just through the roof. I just feel that I can get so much more done in my day and just crush it all. Where before it was kind of like, do a couple of things, then you sit down and like, all right, um, you feel a little tired, or it's the coming home from a long day or whatever, and you're just like, but it's like, I feel good. Like, I wake up early, I hit the gym, crush it, and then because I work afternoons, I'm going in at 2 o'clock, and it's like I'm powering through an 8-hour shift coming home with no issues, no drag in regards to kind of hitting like a slump at work with like, it's the per se the after lunch kind of snooze that you get going on, where you eat your meal and you're just like, are you starting to get tired and want to fall asleep and just not do anything? And no, I mean, energy has been phenomenal. I mean, I've have issues with my work pants fitting. I'm cinching up the belt, and just to keep my pants from falling down, which is a wonderful thing to notice.
Good
And
problems.
yes, exactly. And my wife keeps complimenting me all the time. The most recent, I forget, I think we were running to the store, and I was going to grab something real quickly, and I'm walking out. I jump in the car, and she's like, "Wow, you look really good." Like, and I'm like, "Well, I hope so." I mean, I'm trying to put in the effort, and to see other people recognize that, it's really nice.
Yeah. That's massive, man. For the lady to be like, "Hey, you're looking good," and you're not even doing anything. You're just getting groceries. So, wins all around there. If you had a brother or maybe someone you were mentoring, or even just a message to anyone watching, like, what would you say three keys to success are? Where it's like, if I can do these three things, not only will I see success in the short term, or maybe I'll see success in like a 3-4 month time frame, but also this will sustain me, and this will be something that I can always go back to and know that this is a principle, or this is something that will help me sustain my results.
I mean, the first thing would definitely be, the whole process. Just focus on the journey itself over focusing on the end goal of where you want to be. By focusing on that journey, you're gonna, to me, I think you'll enjoy it so much more, and just take it one step at a time. You know, you're going to have some, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Life's going to happen, but just one step at a time, just focus on the journey itself, and you'll just be so surprised and blown away when you reach your destination versus just trying to race to get there as fast as you can. Another thing with this program is the sense of community. It's nice to come in and have those other individuals there that you can depend on if you're for like a pick me up, a little bit of motivation when you're dragging your feet a little bit. And on top of that, it's just kind of like thinking, the alter ego that if I were a clone trooper, like this is my family, these are, we're all in this together. So I can't let them down. I have to keep moving forward and put my best foot forward, not just for myself, but for them as well. Because if I fail, I'm not, I'm failing myself, but I'm also failing them. So it's nice to have that motivation and, I would say family in that sense of you're not going alone. I have never personally met any of these other individuals in person, but just to have that sense of family and knowing that if I fall and I have a bad day, that they're going to be there to help pick me up.
Definitely.
And I would say really the last thing would be just do your best. And I mean, that's kind of going back to you're not going to have a perfect day every day. You're going to have some setbacks, but just go in with the mindset of I'm here to do my best. Because you may fail sometimes, but knowing that you did your best, that's where you can have that internal happiness of knowing that even though I lost, I didn't hit what I was wanting to, I did my best.
That's a really good one. And the first time I've heard that on these interviews, because a lot of people want to know the shortcut to maybe feeling confident in themselves. And I think that's one of them, is just knowing that you gave it your all and then let the results fall where they may. Because I've been there personally where it's like I maybe have the result, but I know I didn't give my best. And there's that little bit of gnawing to where it's like, dude, you got lucky. Or, it's like if you're controlling the things you can control, you can feel confident in that. And that's probably the fastest way I've found to build confidence is just doing your best to control the 2 or 3 or 4 inputs that, that's your journey. That's your process for the day. Knock those out. And then there's tomorrow. Just keep doing the same thing. I love that you said that. That's a really good one.
I mean, I think back to with the do your best. I really think back to the Kessel Walk Challenge, and it's 12 days in a row. You're shooting for 12,000 or at least 12,000 steps, and there'd be times where I wouldn't necessarily be where I wanted to be for steps, and I'm coming home at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, all right, well, I could just shrug it off and whatever, but am I really doing my best to complete this challenge?
Mm-hmm.
No, I just I could sit there and lie to myself and to the whole community and like, oh yeah, I did it, but that's not putting my best foot forward. So it's like, yeah, I'm come home and spending 45 minutes just pacing back and forth in my basement because that's just that mindset of like this is my best. If I can't give my best, then like I can't sit there and be happy with myself. And if I had to start back from square one, so be it. But going into the thought of, oh, okay, I'm at 9,000 steps or whatever. Like, oh, I'm close enough. Like, we'll just chalk it up as a win and claim that we hit the 12,000. Like, no, that's not doing your best. Like for me, that wasn't doing my best. I'm like, I have to do this, and just have that foot forward, and being honest with myself, knowing that as even though I'm going to bed a little sweaty, that I put my best effort forward and I did accomplish that task for the day, whatever in it with the Kessel Walk.
Yeah. No, I love that challenge. It's one of those where it's simple, it's walking, but it really shows you one, like, hey, here's what it is, here's what it looks like to do everything you can to scratch and claw for that, last 2,000 steps. And I think it goes to show people too, we say, oh, I don't have time, but if you have to look for time, you can sometimes find it in random places like walking down in the basement. I love that story. Any other final words or thoughts before I let you go?
Uh just speaking to anybody out there that is on the fence, take that leap of faith like I did. You will be your mind will just be blown away. You will be surprised in the best way with the results that you will get along this journey and the community that is there. It's so wonderful. Like I said, I call it a family. I can come in with the background that I have and feel so welcome because I'm enjoying fitness and I get to nerd out about Star Wars with all these people and not have to worry that I'm going to be looked at differently just because of what I happen to do for work.
Mm,
And I mean, the sky's the limit. And you come in and you really see that you really realize that with the community that you have all these people from all across the country, all across the world that they're egging you on to do your best. You're there helping each other out to climb those obstacles that get in the way. So just get off the fence, take that leap of faith. You will not be disappointed.
100%. I love that, man. And I love too that you and other people have found something where it's like you can just be you. And that was kind of the initial vision was, man, I just like to I like to work out and nerd out. And it's cool that, you're having that experience as well. So appreciate the time, man. And this will definitely be inspiring to a lot of troopers out there, both physically or literally and metaphorically. And just want to thank you again for your time and keep crushing it, man.